Hey there, Michael Creasy here, a.k.a. That Interview Guy, and here we are in Orlando, Florida at the NAR show, and I've got the good fortune of bumping into Matthew Ferrara, and when it comes to somebody that knows what's happening from a technology point of view, this is the go-to guy. So I'm going to ask him one of the tough questions that all brokers are thinking about, and, Matthew, right now, it's not about getting leads. Anybody and their dog can get leads online, but I think where agents are failing is how do you take those leads, convert them, incubate them, then convert them and make money for them. So if you got any strategies that our brokers can apply.
No, absolutely. Our key focus right now is on leads management as well as the issue of long-term incubation for leads. Right now we look around this entire trade show floor. There are tons of companies selling lead strategies, selling website strategies. That's not the problem anymore. 4 or 5 years ago, that was the problem. Today's problem really is the issue of what happens to those leads when they come in. So it's a question of who they get distributed to, what their performance standard is. Also an issue, when you really think about it, of are they being converted over the long haul? Are we getting return on investment on the kind of money that we're spending for web leads? And what we're seeing for numbers is it's actually not that good. We're seeing most companies are throwing away 70, 80, 90% of the leads. And mostly that's from stamina problems, incubation systems problems. A lot of agents are just still trying to cherry pick their ways through leads. So we have a brand new leads management certification. And the idea behind that is we'll go into a brokerage and we'll say, what's happening to your leads? Do you know where they're coming from? Do you know where they're going to? Do you also know what happens to them in that period? How they get responded to? How the agents are following up? Are they using your systems and tools? And are they basically just giving up too early? Somewhere around 90% of leads are essentially given up on prematurely. What happens is an agent will try to reach out. They might not get an email back right away. They might not actually get any email message or phone call from the consumer, and then they give up. And consumers, that's their job. Their job as a consumer is to ask for information and then go on with their lives. And it might take them weeks to get back. It doesn't mean they're not interested. It just means they're not interested right this second in getting back. So that's what we're helping companies change, which is this entire approach to leads management. Not just to think in terms of, every email is going to turn into a sale today, but every email will turn into a sale someday. So
that's an interesting point that you just made there. Do you think there's a disconnect because agents are thinking that the leads that they aggregate online are like leads that come in off a newspaper or an open house? They're used to dealing with people flesh to flesh, and the internet buyer is a completely different body altogether, aren't they?
Oh yeah, absolutely. The internet buyer, when you think about it, to some degree the internet buyer is ready to go, but to a large degree the internet buyer is ready to wait. So the internet buyer may start the process 12 to 14 weeks ahead of any potential to buy anything, and sometimes 6 to 12 months ahead. We have a couple of different things that have happened in real estate in the last 4 years. Some of it is agents, came into a business when they didn't really need a lot of sales skills to be successful. And as a result of that, they're now being challenged with the need to actually prospect long term, to work relationships, to take their time and understand that the consumer is going to take their time. So there is some misperception with what an internet lead is, and there's misperception with what they're getting. A lot of agents have come by here in the last couple of days and said, I need more leads. And the truth is they don't. They need to convert a higher percentage of the leads they already have, and then they need to take the leads that they're getting, put them in a system so that eventually they will become business. They may not become business for 30, 60, 90, 5, 10, or even 20 months, but if you plan on being in business for a career, that's not a problem. That's a good thing because you've already paid for these leads. They've come in. Consumers have reached out. That means your web strategies are working. Your marketing is working. Even if it's a phone call, even if it's a walk into an open house, it's still going to take time. That's sales. That's the nature of this business. And we got a little lazy, in the boom time. We could convert anything. Anything would walk through the door. It had a handful of money. We could convert it. Now it's a little bit back to normal. And in the real world, normal sales take time.
I think that's the challenge when you say it's a matter of getting back to normal. Many of the agents that got into the business in the past 5 years think normal is like a day at Disney. There's excitement and stuff happening. And you guys, like you and me, we've been in this business 20 years or so. You know that it's up and down like a roller coaster.
Here's the thing. Sales is a process of building relationships. And when there's artificial markets, then you don't need to have relationships. You don't need to build them. And essentially, we have 65 to 70% of the agents in the business today who who never went to prospecting school. They never went to sales school. They went to, I got a listing, I received 5 overpriced bid school. And that's not reality. And when we look at, there are plenty of people selling homes today, even in the tough markets. Why? Because they're applying standard sales skills. They're following up, taking their time, building trust. And that's really half the battle with any of these leads. Not just that every lead that comes in is going to be ready to go and you can cherry pick your way to higher profits. It is that every lead will become a deal with someone. And unfortunately, most people are just throwing away those deals.
Is that a book that you wrote, Cherry Pick Your Way to Higher Profits?
Cherry Pick Your Way to Performance.
Here somewhere, I think.
Could be one of our CDs, yeah, absolutely.
Well, you heard it, kids. It's not about a quantity of leads anymore. It's about doing the best you can with those leads. And with Matthew's help, I'm sure you can take those, scrub them. And it's a skill set. It's a matter of learning a new skill set. So the market's changing. It's not a matter of, sitting back and saying, woe is me, what do I do next? So till next time, Michael Crease, that interview guy, I'm going to wander around the floor and see what kind of mischief I can get into. And if you enjoyed this video, there's a whole bunch of these and audio interviews at thatinterviewguy.com.